Every morning, before the world's noise floods your mind, there's a moment, silent, unshaken, when you can decide who you will be today. This moment is rare, but it is powerful. It's when you can plant thoughts that will guide your actions, anchor your emotions, and keep you steady no matter what storms come your way. And if you want to live with the strength and clarity of the Stoics, this is when it starts. The world will try to pull you in 1,000 directions. People will test your patience. Challenges will test your will. Disappointments will knock at your door without warning. But if you begin each day with the right reminders, you will not just survive the day, you will master it. First, remind yourself, control is an illusion, except for one thing, your mind. No matter what happens outside of you, your reactions, your choices, and your attitude are yours alone. You do not need the world to be perfect to be at peace. Second, remember that time is slipping away, faster than you realize. The day you're in right now will never return. Do not waste it on trivial arguments, shallow pleasures, or chasing approval from those who do not understand you. Third, understand that pain and discomfort are not your enemies, they are your teachers. The Stoics did not run from hardship, they embraced it, because they knew each trial made them unshakable. Fourth, tell yourself that you owe no one your peace. Your mental clarity, your emotional balance, and your inner stillness are treasures too valuable to hand over to anyone's anger or chaos. Fifth, remind yourself to speak less and listen more. Words can't be taken back, but silence never has to be explained. When emotions are high, hold your tongue. Wisdom often speaks the loudest in silence. Sixth, remember that gratitude is not something you feel only when life is easy. It's a decision you make, even in the middle of difficulty. If you woke up this morning, you already have enough to start with. Seventh, accept that not everyone will understand you, and that's fine. You're not here to be liked by everyone. You're here to live in accordance with your principles. Eighth, remind yourself to keep your desires in check. Want less, and you'll find yourself freer. The less you depend on external rewards, the more power you have over your own happiness. Ninth, realize that death is not far away. This is not a thought to fear, but a truth to live by. Let it guide you to act with urgency, to love deeply, and to leave no important words unsaid. 10th, tell yourself that comparison is poison. Your path is yours alone. The victories and struggles of others are not your measure. They are their journey, not yours. 11th, remember that anger is a choice. No one can make you angry without your permission. When you feel it rise, pause, and choose a better response. 12th, understand that wealth and possessions mean nothing if you are a prisoner to them. True wealth is the ability to walk away from anything without losing your peace. 13th, remind yourself that each obstacle is an opportunity. The harder the challenge, the greater the growth on the other side. 14th, never forget that your mind becomes what you feed it. Guard it fiercely. Avoid the toxic, the petty, and the meaningless. Fill it with what strengthens you. 15th, tell yourself that today you will live deliberately. You will not drift. You will not be a passenger in your own life. You will act, decide, and move with purpose. Because the truth is, these reminders are not just words, they are armor. And when you start each morning with them, the day can throw its worst at you, but you will still walk forward, unbroken, steady, and free. And as you walk into the day armed with these reminders, you'll notice something subtle yet profound. Your reactions begin to change. Where once you might have rushed, you now move with calm precision. Where once you might have argued, you now let silence speak for you. The world around you may remain chaotic, but inside, you carry a stillness that nothing can disturb. This stillness isn't weakness. It's the deepest form of strength. Because it means you are no longer a slave to every emotion, every impulse, every disturbance the world throws your way. You choose your responses with intention. You become unshakable, not because life is easy, but because you have prepared your mind to meet it with discipline. The Stoics understood that life is a battlefield of the mind. Every day is a test, and your thoughts are your weapons. If you arm yourself with wisdom each morning, you won't just get through the day, you'll shape it. You'll bend it toward your values, your purpose, your truth. And when the inevitable happens, when frustration tries to bite, when disappointment creeps in, when someone's words try to stir the old storms inside, you will recognize it for what it is. Just another wave hitting the shore. But you are the rock. You don't need to fight the wave. You let it break against you, and you remain. Even in moments of loss, you will not be carried away by despair. You will remind yourself, this too is part of the human experience. The Stoics didn't seek to escape pain, they sought to meet it with dignity. To feel it, to learn from it, and then to move forward without letting it poison the rest of life. When you start living this way, something beautiful happens. You stop being controlled by things you cannot control. You stop chasing the mirage of perfect circumstances, because you realize they don't exist. Peace is not waiting on the other side of some achievement. Peace is forged here, now, in the way you choose to think. And little by little, these reminders will stop being a list you recite in the morning. They will become part of you. They will live in your words, your choices, your silence, your presence. People will notice, but they won't understand at first. They'll wonder why you don't react like everyone else, why you seem untouched by the same storms that drag others under. The answer will be simple. You've built your foundation on principles that don't move. You've trained your mind to rise above the noise. You've chosen, every single day, to start with strength, rather than wait for the world to hand it to you. And in this way, you stop being just another person caught in the current of life. You become a lighthouse, steady, unmoved, guiding others through their own storms, simply by living your truth. And when you become that lighthouse, something shifts, not just in how you see the world, but in how the world sees you. People will seek your presence, not because you flatter them or give them what they want, but because in your steadiness they find a reflection of the strength they've been searching for themselves. They may not say it out loud, but they'll feel it. Your calm is rare, your focus is rare, your refusal to be broken is rare. And in a world drowning in noise, rarity becomes magnetic. But you didn't build this for them, you built it for yourself. For the quiet knowing that when you close your eyes at night, you lived the day on your terms. So tomorrow, when the alarm rings and the temptation to drift into old habits creeps in, remember, this is your moment. The first thoughts you allow into your mind will set the tone for everything that follows. Choose them wisely. Repeat those reminders, not as empty affirmations, but as vows you intend to keep. Vows to live deliberately. Vows to protect your peace. Vows to meet life as a worthy opponent and still smile at its trials. And when you fail, and you will, because you are human, do not waste time in self-punishment. Instead, remember another Stoic truth. The best time to stand up is always now. You fall, you rise, you continue. The day is not lost unless you decide to leave it behind. Every day, you have a choice, to live by default or to live by design. The Stoics chose design, discipline, and deliberate thought. They did not wait for courage. They built it in the small, consistent acts of each morning. If you follow that path, you will one day look back and realize something incredible. You didn't just live more days, you lived deeper ones. You measured your life not by how long it lasted, but by how strongly you stood, how clearly you saw, and how faithfully you stayed true to the person you set out to be. That's the power of beginning your day with purpose. That's the strength of a mind trained in the way of the Stoics. And if you choose it, day after day, it will not just change your mornings, it will transform your entire life. And that transformation won't come with fireworks or applause. It will arrive quietly, the way dawn replaces night, slowly, subtly, until one day you realize the darkness you once carried has faded into something lighter. You'll notice you're no longer exhausted by other people's chaos, no longer drained by things beyond your control. What used to pull you into spirals now passes through you without leaving a mark. Your confidence will no longer be a performance. It will be rooted, deep and unshakable, because it comes from knowing you have faced each day on your terms. The things that once scared you, the things that once broke you, will lose their power, because you've learned to meet them with presence and discipline. This is the gift of the Stoic morning ritual. It doesn't just prepare you for the day, it rewires how you live your life. You stop clinging to comfort and start embracing challenge. You stop seeking easy victories and start respecting the hard battles. You stop waiting for the world to treat you kindly and instead sharpen yourself to meet whatever the world gives you. And with time, you will see what the Stoics always knew, that true freedom isn't the absence of obstacles, but the mastery of your mind in the face of them. That peace isn't found when life is quiet, but when you've trained yourself to remain quiet inside, no matter how loud the world becomes. So tomorrow, when you rise, remember, you are not at the mercy of the day. The day is at the mercy of the mindset you bring to it. Walk into it as the Stoics did, not desperate to control every outcome, but determined to control yourself. And in doing so, you will discover the most powerful truth of all. When you master your mornings, you master your life. And when you master your life in this way, you begin to see every sunrise differently. It's no longer just the start of another day, it's an invitation. An invitation to step forward as the best version of yourself, to sharpen your character, to live in alignment with your deepest values. You stop moving through life half asleep, letting the hours slip through your fingers. Instead, you greet each morning with a warrior's readiness, knowing that every choice you make, every thought you allow, is a stroke on the canvas of the life you're painting. The Stoics didn't wake up hoping for an easy day. They woke up preparing for a worthy one. A day that might challenge their patience, test their humility, and demand their courage. They understood that every challenge is a chance to prove, not to the world, but to themselves, that their principles are not just words, but a way of life. And this is where the power lies, in consistency. A single morning of discipline will not transform you. But 1,000 mornings? 1,000 mornings of deliberate thought, purposeful action, and unwavering self-control. That will change everything. That will shape a mind so resilient, so clear, that even the storms of life become background noise. One day, you'll notice that you no longer dread the unexpected. You'll welcome it. Because you'll know that whatever the day brings, you've already chosen how you'll meet it, with calm, with strength, and with grace. And when your head rests on the pillow at night, you'll feel a deep satisfaction. Not because the day was perfect, but because you lived it on your terms. You met it as a Stoic would, rooted in reason, guided by virtue, and untouchable by the chaos around you. This is the quiet victory that comes from starting every day with the right reminders. Not the kind that just sound nice, but the kind that shape who you are. And if you keep them close, you won't just survive life, you'll master it, one morning at a time. And as the years pass, that mastery will become your nature. You won't have to remind yourself to stand tall in the face of adversity. You simply will. You won't have to force yourself to let go of what you cannot control. It will release itself from your grasp, because your mind no longer clings to what's temporary. People will start to wonder what your secret is. How you remain calm when the market crashes, when relationships shift, when plans collapse. They'll see your steadiness as something mysterious, even unattainable. But you'll know the truth. It's not mystery, it's discipline. It's not luck, it's practice. Every single morning, every single choice, stacked over years, has built this version of you. This is why the Stoics spoke of preparation, not prediction. They didn't waste energy trying to guess the future. They trained for any future. And when it came, they were ready. That's the gift you give yourself when you start your mornings with these reminders. Readiness. Not the shallow readiness of having a plan, but the deep readiness of having a mind that can adapt to any plan's failure. And this is the final, unspoken reward. You no longer live in fear. Fear loses its grip when you realize that no matter what life takes away, it cannot take away your principles. No matter what storms arrive, they cannot uproot a mind that has learned to stand in the wind. So tomorrow, when you wake, don't just stumble into the day. Step into it with the quiet confidence of someone who knows they are prepared. Not for perfection, not for comfort, but for reality. And when reality arrives, harsh or kind, you will meet it as you have met every day before, steady, calm, and unbroken. Because in the end, the Stoic morning isn't just about how you start your day. It's about how you start your life, again and again, with every sunrise, until living with strength and clarity is no longer something you do. It's simply who you are. And when it becomes who you are, you'll see that nothing outside of you truly holds power over your state of mind. Not praise, not criticism, not gain, not loss. You will stand on a foundation so solid that the shifting sands of the world no longer dictate your peace. This is the point where the practice transcends routine. It becomes your identity. You won't need to remind yourself to be patient. Patience will flow naturally. You won't need to force gratitude. It will arise on its own, even in moments of hardship. And you won't need to rehearse courage. It will be the instinct that guides you forward. The mornings you once viewed as a chore to get through will now feel like a gift. You'll look forward to that first quiet moment, when you can shape your mindset before the day shapes it for you. You'll savor the stillness before the world wakes, because in that silence, you claim your power. And over time, you will realize the true essence of the Stoic path. It's not about feeling nothing, it's about being unmoved by the wrong things and deeply moved by the right ones. You will still feel joy, love, and even sorrow, but those feelings will no longer control you. They will inform you. They will remind you that life is not meant to be escaped, it's meant to be embraced, with clear eyes and a steady heart. This is what 1,000 disciplined mornings will give you. Not a life without storms, but the unshakable presence to stand through them. Not a life without loss, but the wisdom to see that loss is part of the cycle that makes life beautiful. And when you reach that place, you'll look back and understand. The greatest gift you ever gave yourself was the choice to start your days with intention. The choice to live each morning as if it mattered, because it did. And because of that, so did your life. And in those moments of reflection, you'll see how small choices compound into monumental change. What began as a list of reminders became the blueprint for your character. What started as a morning ritual became the quiet revolution of your life. You will notice that the same situations that once rattled you now barely leave a ripple in your mind. The delays, the insults, the disappointments, they have lost their sting. Not because the world has softened, but because you have strengthened. You've traded reaction for reflection, and in that trade, you've gained control over the only thing that was ever truly yours, your response. This shift will also deepen how you move through the world. You'll walk into each day with less fear and more curiosity. Challenges will become invitations to grow rather than threats to avoid. Failures will turn into data, lessons to be studied rather than burdens to be carried. And victories? They'll be appreciated, but never allowed to define you, because you know they are just moments, fleeting like all the rest. Others might measure success by what they can collect, achieve, or prove. You will measure it by how you carry yourself when no one is watching, by how you hold your principles when tested, and by how lightly you hold the things you cannot keep. This is the transformation the Stoics understood. Real power is not in ruling others, but in ruling yourself. Real peace is not found in avoiding life's weight, but in becoming strong enough to lift it. And when that becomes your way of living, you stop chasing life and start walking beside it, step for step, neither clinging nor resisting. That is the quiet mastery the morning practice builds. It is not loud. It does not seek applause. But it is unshakable, and it will stay with you for the rest of your life, shaping not just your mornings, but everything that follows. And when it stays with you, it becomes more than a practice. It becomes your compass. It guides you when the path is unclear, it steadies you when uncertainty presses in, and it reminds you of who you are when the world tries to make you forget. Even in the midst of chaos, you'll carry a center of gravity that cannot be moved. That quiet strength will not shout or demand attention. It will simply exist, undeniable to anyone who encounters it. And in a world addicted to noise, your calm will be the rarest thing they've ever seen. Over time, you'll see the ripple effect. Your discipline will inspire others without you ever having to tell them what to do. They'll notice the way you move through life, the way you face storms without panic, and they'll wonder how you built such resilience. You won't have to give them long explanations. You'll simply tell them the truth. It began with a choice. A choice you made every morning to guard your mind, shape your thoughts, and act with intention. That choice will have rewritten your life. Not with sudden, dramatic changes, but with steady, deliberate shifts that compound over years until you barely recognize the person you once were. You'll realize that strength, wisdom, and peace were never waiting somewhere out there. They were built here, in these moments, in the repetition of small but powerful acts. And so, each sunrise will no longer just mark another day. It will mark another opportunity to live with clarity, with purpose, and with the unshakable mindset of someone who knows that while they cannot control the world, they can always control themselves.